Okay, thank you, John, for your introduction. Mm, like John just said, my name is Robert Lopez. I'm going to guide you in this development of the laboratory number 2. A little bit about me. I have been working with data the last 3 years. All my knowledge is based on BI solution and advanced data analytics. And today we are going to work with Power BI. And in this laboratory number 2, we are going to talk about how we can explore and modeling our data using the tool. Okay, so for this lab, I'm going to tell you guys that you need to continue using the file that you started work in the lab number 1. If you don't have that file, or if you lose the tracking of the lab number 1, you can start using the lab number 1 solution file that you can find inside your folder of reports, the folder that you already download for this session, for the dashboard in a day session. So once you have opened your lab number 1 solution, we are going to start to talk about a little bit about all the files that we are going to use, all the tabs that we are going to use for. And for this lab, we are going to talk about everything about how to modulate your data. So we are going to talk about relationships between tables, how you can relate a geography table, for example, with your sales table. We are going to talk about how you can create or start to explore your data using the first visuals, how to create that first visuals. So for that, we are going to use principal these tabs. For example, you're going to use those 3 icons that we have in the left of your screen. We are going to use this tab right here, that is the Home tab, Insert tab, Modeling tab, View tab, and Health tab. We are going to talk about filters and how you can filter your reports using the Filters pane, or how you can create different visuals using the Visualizations pane, how you can see all that you have inside your model, all the tables that you have or the fields that you have in the Fields pane, and how you can interact with all visuals using this section right here. We are going to create our first visuals, and for that we are going to use this first section, that it's the white space that you have in the majority part of your screen, and that part it's called the report visual part, or the report page of where you are going to create all the different visuals, right? So all of those are the different part of the tools that we are going to use. We are going to start the topics talking about how to create visuals using Power BI, and we are going to see that it's really simple to do with the tool. Once you have your tables inside your model, you create the different transformations like Camilo teach us in the lab number 1. You can start to explore your data. And for example, you can go to the data section, or the data icon that you can find in the left part of your screen. And if you click in that icon, you're going to go to this section. And in this section, you can explore the different tables that you have. And for example, if you click in geography table, you're going to see the geography table, or the geography data that you have in the table, the different columns that you have in the table. For example, zip column, city column, state, region, district, country. And you can start to explore your data, just scrolling down to see all the rows that you have. For example, go to see the bottom rows or the top rows. You can start to filter your data, and you can do it with click on the icon that you have in the different columns with the arrow, and you can start to filter your data just to explore what you have. For example, if I want to see what data I have about Japan, I can filter Japan, the different districts of Japan. You can filter a specific one if you want, and you can start to explore the different data that you have in the table. When you filter the data inside this visual or this section, you're not going to delete something about your data. Don't worry about that. All the data is going to keep in your model. So this part, we use it a lot to explore the data, explore your fields and your columns in your tables. You can clear your filters that you already built. And you can start to explore different tables. For example, if you go to the sales table, you can go down to or scroll down to the row number 3 million, for example, and that just takes to the tool a few seconds to go to that row, and you're looking the row number 3 million inside your table in sales. Okay, and this one is the first step that you can use to start to explore your data. And if you want, you can start to create some visuals using those tables that you already have. And for that, it's really simple. You just need to click inside the different visualization icons that you want. For example, if we want to create a clustered column chart, you just need to click on that icon, and then it's going to appear a new visual inside your pane, inside your report, right? So in this case, it just appeared this icon or this visual, where you can see that it's with some shadow of the different column charts, but in this visual there is no data yet. So just to start to explore, you can drag and draw in your visual, holding click on that, and move the visual on the different parts of the page. You can click on the edges of the visual, hold the click and move to expand or change the size of your visual if you need or if you want. And then to create some data inside this visual, you have this section right here. In this section, if you hold the click or if you click in this visual first at all, you need to click on this visual, and then it's going to appear this section right here. It's field section, and in this section you're going to specify to the tool which files or which columns or you are going to use, or the tool it's going to use for the axis on the visual, for the legend, for the values that it's going to use the visual. So let's go and make some example and see how you can do that. And it's really easy to do. You can go to the field section. Remember, it's right here in the right part of your screen. Expand the geography table, and we can, for example, drag and drop your country field to the axis. So take a look that something changed in your visual. Now we have a country in axis, but we don't have data inside the visual. It's a wide chart. You need to specify to the tool the values that you want to use for the chart, for the column chart. And in this case, we are going to use the revenue. So we want to know the different revenue that it's for the different countries. So if the same case, you have to drag the revenue field to the values field, and then it's going to appear the visual, right? You can remember that you can expand your visual, drawing in the edges, and we can start to see something, and we can start to explore our data. And for example, in this case, you can note that, for example, to the different countries, we have the same size for columns. That means that we have the same revenue for the different columns for the different countries. Australia has 1 billion, Canada 1 billion. It's the same value for the different countries, and that says something to us, and it's something's wrong with our data. I don't know, but there is not possible that all our countries has the same values of revenue. So that's important, and it's important to start to explore your data and see the numbers, and let's start to think if something makes sense or not, or doesn't make sense to you. And this is one of those cases that the data doesn't make too much sense for us, and that has an explication, or why every country it's looking, or it's with the same value. And you pay attention, we are using the country about the geography table, and we are using the revenue about the sales table. So the principal question is that our tables, geography and sales tables, are related by something. We need a relationship between those tables to be able, to different the sales from Australia and the sales from Canada. And that opened the next topic of our section, and it's how to model the different tables that we have, or the different queries that we have inside the tool. And for that, I want that you guys go to this section, to specific the icon number 3, and let's click on that icon, and let's see what happened. In this section of the tool, you can see how your different tables are related. So for example, in this case, we have the sales table that it's connected to the product table, and the product table is connected to the manufacturer table. So there is a relation between those tables. But in the case of geography table, we don't have any relation between geography and sales. That means that it's impossible to the tool difference the revenue inside the sales table for the different country that we have in geography table, and that's the reason that the tool is showing us the same number for the different country. So we need to build the relation between geography and sales table. That's what we need to do to just be able to differentiate the sales inside every country. So for that, we just need inside our model, or inside our tables, we need some keys to relate the different tables. So for example, in this case, we have a product ID. So in the sales table, we have a product ID that we have the same field inside the product table. So using that field or that column, we can relate the product with the sales table. It's the same case for manufacturer. We have the manufacturer ID inside the manufacturer table, and manufacturer ID inside the product table. So we know, or the model or Power BI now it's able to know which product is its manufacturer, or it's built for the different manufacturers, right? So in this case, we need one field that be able to us to relate the the geography table with the sales table, and take a look and see that we have the zip code inside the geography table, and we have the zip code inside the sales table. So let's try to create a relationship between those tables using that field. And to do that, it's really simple. You just need to click on the column and hold the click, and drawing the field to the concerned column in the different tables. So in this case, we are going to drag the zip column to the zip column inside the sales table, and that's it. What happened? The tool shows us a new window, and the window is with a warning message. and the warning message says that the cardinality of the relationship that we are trying to create, it's many to many. And what does it means? I'm going to cancel that window. I'm going to explain you using the product and sales table. And if you can see, you can take a look that the product table has a number 1 here, and the sales table, it's with a different icon right here. So that means that this relationship, it's one to many. For one row that we have inside our product table, we have too much rows. Sorry, too much, no. We have many rows inside our sales table, right? So in this case, this is important to talk about that, because in our models, inside your models, inside Power BI, you should try to keep a star model or a star relations between your tables. So we are going to have a middle table or a fact table, that it's the principal table, the important table, and we have some other tables that we are going to call dimensions or master tables, that in this case, for example, it's product table. In this table we have the different products that the company has, okay, but just one time, and that product, for example, bicycles or books, we have in the table once, but in the sales table we have many times that row. That means that in more than one day or more than one time we have sell that product, okay. And we are going to try that the same happen with geography. The problem is that we have maybe in the different country the same zip code, and that means that we have the different zip code to different sales, and we need to solve that. And we are going to solve that creating a new column inside our tables. We are going to create a new column inside geography table, and we are going to create a new column in sales table, just to be able to relate those tables. And in this case, I just want to note, if you go to the geography table, that we have in the geography table the country, the name of the country, and we have the zip code. And if you go to the sales table, we have the name of the country and the zip code. And with the column country, we are able to distinguish the different zips that we have, maybe the same zip for different countries. And if we merge the zip code with the country name, maybe we are going to create a new distinct or unique key on the table. So we are going to do that. We are going to create a new column using the zip code and the country name inside the different tables, in this case geography and sales table. And that opens us the next topic and how we are going to do that. So before finish on how to create the relationship between those tables, we are going to see how to create a new column inside our model, inside our tables. So it's really simple to do. I just need that you guys go to the table where you need to create the column, click on that table. You can go to the data visualization and go to the table, sales tables in this case, and we are going to this section or this tab that it's called table tools. Click on that, and we have in this case a new option that it's a new column. In this case I'm going to show you with this red square. With this option, I need that you click on that, and it's going to appear a new section, or that it's a formula bar. So if you see in the column, we are going to create a new column in the table, we are going to create a new column that is right here, but we need to specify how we are going to create that column. And how, it's the question here. we are going to use, and I want to introduce you guys the Dax language. So Dax language is a language that we are going to use to create, for example, new columns. You can create new tables. You can create some measures or some aggregations or calculations about your data using that language. So in the development of this lab, we are going to use Dax language to create columns, tables, and some aggregations or calculations inside your data. So in this case, we are going to start with create a new column using Dax. Okay, so then you need to use the language. It's a code language, right? So there is a formula bar where you can write the language, the syntax of your code, and before the equal you're going to write the name of the column that you are going to create. So in this case we are going to create the zip key. I'm going to call that column in this way, zip key, and we just say that we want to concatenate or merge the zip code with the country name. So in this case we are going to use we need to specify with the language the name of the column. So in this case we need zip, and you just need to type a key words or a key letters about what you want. In this case, if I type Z IP, actually the tool show me with an assistance the options that I have using that zip word, using that word. So in this case it's telling me that in the model I have a sales table with the zip code. So maybe the column is the tool is suggesting that maybe you are trying to look this column, and it's right. So with the type key you can complete the syntax, complete the text, and note that what we have in the square brackets, it's the name of the column. What we have outside the square brackets, it's the name of the table. So in this case you need to type first of all the name of the table, that it's sales, and then the name of the column inside the square bracket, zipped. We are going to use the ampersand character to concatenate. We can use that character to concatenate with Dax, and we are going to concatenate with a string that I'm going to use, a white space for example, and another ampersand character to concatenate with other column, and in this case I'm going to use country, and let's see that, for example, if I'm type count trying to write country, the assistant of the language or the tool show me that maybe you refer to count formula or the count function, or count rows function, distinct count function, or maybe you means country column inside sales table. You can navigate inside this box using the arrows in your keyboard. So go to the cells, to the column sale country inside your sales table, and using the tab key in your keyboard you can complete the text that you just select. So that's everything that you need to create a column. I'm going to type enter. It's going to load, and then let's see what happened with our new column. In this case we have a new zip column that it's concatenation between the zip code, the white space, and the country name. We need just to create this same column in our geography table. We are going to do it in a fast way. Remember, you need to click on the table, in this case geography, go to the table tools and click on new column. Then it's going to appear the formula bar, and we are going to put a name to our new column, in this case zip key. You can repeat the names between the tables, it doesn't matter. And the syntax of the column, in this case, remember, is the zip, in this case zip, but using the geography table. So in this case not sales table, it's geography table, and that's perfect for us. Ampersand character, you're going to create a white space between the two words, and the country column in the geography table. Click enter. Let's see what happened, and we just have our zip key inside our geography table, right? So it's really simple to create columns using Dax. I'm going to send you the link, guys, about the documentation of the language, because you can do it. You can do a lot of things using the language. There is a lot of functions, a lot of different statements that you can use to create conditional columns. In a few moments we are going to create tables, we are going to create some measures, and everything it's using the language Dax. Another thing that I want you note, guys, is that we have in this case a new field inside geography table. So if you go to the fields pane and go to the table geography, you can know that now we have a new column that it's zip key, and it's with this icon. That means that it is a calculate column with a function. Okay, perfect. It's the same case for our sales table. We have the same column inside sales table. So returning to our topic, to how to create relations between the tables, remember that you just need to drag and draw your zip key to the equivalent column in the sales table. So in this case, zip key with zip key, just drag and drop, and the tool in this case doesn't show us a warning message or something like that. The tool just creates a relation between the geography table and the sales table, and that's perfect for us. And it's important to know that if you go to the report pane or the report section, remember you can go using these icons right here, or the first one. You can go and see what happened with our visual. If you remember, our visual, it's not able to distinguish the sales between the different country. So now that we just create the relation between the tables, let's see what happened with the visual. And look at that, it's the tool by itself just now it's able to distinguish the sales or the revenue inside the different countries. So in this case, you can note we have different values. So we have a revenue value for USA that is different to Australia, different to Japan, different to Nigeria, different to Germany, different to Mexico, different to Canada, and that's great. It's perfect to us to start to explore our data using some few visuals. So in this case, with this visual, we just know the country that give us the majority of the revenue, and it's USA. So great for us and great for the market in USA. That's perfect. So let's go deeper with another topic on how you can explore your data. And if you remember, there is in the fields section that we have, once you click on the visual, you can go to continue using the different sections. So for example, in this case, we have not used the legend section. So if you want to go deeper, in this case using the manufacturer, you can drag your field manufacturer to the legend, and let's see what happened with the visual. So now our visual is giving us more information about our data. So in this case, we have some sections. In this first section we have USA, and we have different columns for the different manufacturers that we have in USA. And in this visual we just know the manufacturer that already has more revenue. In this case is Van Arsels. Remember that in our supposed business case we are Van Arsels, so perfect, great for us, guys. We have the top of the revenue in the different country. If you can see, even in Australia we are more, our revenue it's bigger than the revenue of the top number 2 manufacturer in USA. So good news for our manager. But in some cases you need to keep clear the analysis that you need to build inside your report. And in this case, for example, there is no difference between these little bars that you have right here in the bottom. So for example, in some cases you can, or you need to aggregate some values. In this case, for example, we are going to make an example, and in this case we are going to keep the top 5 of manufacturer in the visual, and we just want to be in other group the other manufacturers. So we are going to have just 6 bars in our chart. If the first 5 it's for the top number 5 manufacturers, and the sixth column it's going to be the others group, where we are going to aggregate all the revenue of the little manufacturers in just one. Let's see how to do that. It's really simple. You just need to click or right click inside the table where you want to create the group. In this case we just create a group inside our manufacturer table, because we are going to create a group about the manufacturers, right? So if you see, the top number 5 are Van Arsel, Natura, Aliki, Kurus, and Pirum. So we are going to create Van Arsels in one column, the top other 4 manufacturers in one column, and others in other column. So we are going to create a graph with just 3 colors inside our cluster column. So remember, I just mentioned, right click inside your manufacturer table, and if you can see the option number sorry, it's not right click inside the name of the table, it's right click inside the name of the column that you want to group. So in this case is manufacturer column. So right click in that column, and right here we have the option new group right here. So right click in the column, right click and click in the option new column, and let's see what happened. It's going to pop up a new window. In this window we are going to create the groups. So remember, we want our company in a single group, so you just need to click on the value. So in this case is Van Arsel, so click in Van Arsel and click on group option on group bottom. So now we have a group that it's called Van Arsel, and the member of this group is just Van Arsel. So for the other one we are going to click while you use a control key or shift key, or you just need to click on group option. In this case, remember the other manufacturers that we want to aggregate in a top competitors. It's a leaky. For example, we are going to create a group in a leaky. If we want to add another member to this group, you just need to click on the next member, in this case, for example, Kurus, and then click in the name of the group. So once you just select the value and the group that you want to group, you just need to click again and group option. So now we have Aliki and Kurus in this group. So let's go to the next one, Natura. Click on Natura, click on the group that we want to add Natura, group option, and now we have 3 members inside this group, and the last one is Pirum. Click in the group option, and now we have Van Arsels, that it's our company, the top competitors in the other group or in this group. You can rename the group. You just need to double click inside the column, inside the name of the group, and you can type the name that you want, in this case top competitors. Okay. In the case of the other members or the other values that we have, we just want to check this option right here just to create another group. So if you don't select any value to a specific group, if you check this box, it's going to appear a new group that it's called other, and in the other group it's going to contain all the ungrouped values. So in this case, all these manufacturers is going to be grouped in the other group right here. So once our groups are already built, we can just click on OK option, OK button, and let's see what happened. Now we have a new field inside our fields, that it's the manufacturer groups. You can rename the name of the group, it doesn't matter, and we just can start to build some visuals using that group. So in this case, for example, I'm going to replace the legend inside our column chart that it's using the manufacturer or the name of the manufacturer. I'm going to replace that with the groups or manufacturer groups. So in this case, let's see, we have a column that it's the top competitors, our company Van Arsel, and the other group, and it's more clear to understand and to analyze this visual than the other one. And it's really simple to change the visual, and it's another topic that we are going to learn. If you click on the visual and then go and click in the another visual, for example stacked column chart, you will replace the actual visual that you already click. So in this case, we just change the visual or the way that we are to see the data, and you can start explore the different visuals that you have. Donut charts, pipe charts, cluster charts, cluster nodes, waterfall charts. But I want to use a stacked column chart because I just want to know the whole revenue of the country, and I just want to see in a graphic mode how it's the participation of the different manufacturers inside this country. Perfect guys. Let's talk about another topic and how you can continue exploring the data. So in this case, I just want to show you a few options that you have if you go and click on these 3 dots that we have in the corner of our graph or our visual. That it means more options, and in more options you can map or click on, for example, the show as a table option, and in this case the tool is going to show you the values inside a table, the values that you have inside the visual. So we have in this table the different countries, the different groups that we have in manufacturers, and the values of revenue for each of the different groups. It's another way how you can explore your data, to see in a specific way the numbers or if you go and put your mouse in the graph or the inside the column chart, the tool is going to show you the tooltip box, that it's that gray box where it told you the country, the manufacturer, and the revenue value, and you can explore the data in the same way. We are going to talk about a next topic, that it's a function that we have in Power BI that it's called the cross-filtering function. That's a really interesting function that we have inside the tool, because that make possible to us analyze our data in a deeper ways, because the cross-filtering option, it's a way how you can interact between the visuals that you have inside your report. So for that, we just need to create a new graph or a new visual inside our report. So for that, I just need you guys click on a tree map. We are going to create a tree map visual inside the report, and we are going to drag a manufacturer column to our group field, and we are going to drag our revenue field to values. So in this case, we have a tree map with the different squares of the different manufacturers with the value of the each one, and the cross filtering, it's with a simple click that you make and that you use inside the visual. In this case, if I click in USA column inside the column chart, let's see what happened with the other visual. And it's important to know that look how this is put like in the different squares. That means the USA revenue of this manufacturer in USA. So if you can see, for example, for USA, the revenue of Van Arsel, it's more than the half. So just in our company has more than that, the half of the revenue. It's with our Van Arsel revenue related. You can click on Australia and see the participation on Australia, click in Japan, Nigeria, and it's in the same way, because if you click on Van Arsel square, you're going to see in this case the whole orange values that it's Van Arsel. But in the case of Pyrum, remember, it's one of the top competitors. So in the whole blue section that it's all for top competitors, Pyrum is this section. So the tool is put like you in the visual the value, and you go and put the cursor inside in the bar, in the graph bar, the tooltip show you the values. So in this case, for USA top competitors, revenue was 400 millions, and the highlight value that it's Pyrum, it's 60 millions. You just need to click again to cancel the spotlight mode or the highlight mode. And this option, it's really interesting for us. You can modify how the visual interact with the other one, and to do that, you just need to click on the visual, go to the format tab, and if you can see, there is an option that it's edit interaction. So if you click on that option, let's see what happened. Click again, and what happened with our visuals. So in this case, we have click inside revenue by manufacturer, right? When we click on edit interaction option button, let's see that appear a new 3 icons in the other visuals. So in this case, appear a new 3 icons in the column chart graph visual, and it's the way how the tree map can interact with the column chart graph. And here you can see the option that it's that it's selected, already selected. It's the highlight option. So that means that when you click on one manufacturer, the other graph, it's going to highlight you the values. So that's what it's happening at this moment. But for example, if you don't want that this graph interact with the other one, you can go and check and click on the option of known, or the forbidden icon, and you click on that, and know that when you click on Pirum or other manufacturer inside the tree map, nothing happened with your column graph values. There is no highlight, there is nothing. So the first option is just filter, and in this case what it's going to happen is that the graph is going to filter. It's not going to show you the highlight value, it's going to just filter the value of Pirum. In this case, if I click in Pirum, it's going to show you that Pirum is one of the top competitors, and the revenue of Pirum is 60 million. You can do it in the other way. If you click on this graph, let's see that we have the same 3 icons in the other graph, because it works in the same way. If you click, for example, in USA, in this case the option that it's already selected, it's highlight, but if you want that nothing happen, you can click on none, and when you click on something or some bar or some legend inside your graph, nothing is going to happen with the banner cell with the tree map. So you can configure that as you want, guys. In this case, I'm going to keep the highlight mode for the tree map to the column chart, but I'm going to use the none one option to the column chart to the tree map. So when I click in something, nothing is going to happen with the tree map. Perfect, guys. This is the finish of the topic of how you can interact the cross filtering options. We are going just start to talk about the filter options, or the filter pane that we have in this case right here. So let's note something. If you click in the white space, there is just 2 sections, the filters on the page or filters on all pages. Okay, what does it mean? That means that you can create a filter to apply to the whole page. In this case, we just have one page, but if we create a new filter right here, it's going to apply to the whole page. So in this case, it's going to apply to both visuals, the tree map and the column chart graph visual. Okay, but if we have more than one page, in this case if we have another page number 2, and I'm going to copy paste and this visual, copy and paste. You can do it, by the way, in the tool. I just copy the visual to another page, and I'm going to demonstrate you how to create the filter and how it works. So in this case, for example, I'm going to create a filter on this page that it's using the manufacturer field. So you just need to drag and drop the manufacturer field to the filters on this page, and that's it. It's going to appear a new box where you can specify the filter type. So basic filtering is the list of the different values that you have, and you can select manually the different values that you want. And in this case, for example, take a look. If I just select Van Arsdale, both visual is showing me just the values of Van Arsdale. So the other legends of the graph disappear, and in this case the filter applies to both visual because it's applying to the whole page. So let's see what happened in the page number 2. In the page number 2, we continue with the visual with the whole data. So let's do the same exercise, but using the filter inside the filter on all pages section. So drag your manufacturer to the box filters on all pages and select again Van Arsdale. So in this case, again, our visuals are just showing us Van Arsdale. But if you go to the page number 2, take a look. Now our column chart it's filtered too. So in this case, this filter that we already built, it's applying to all pages that we have inside our report. It's really simple to do. There is more than one filter option. So for example, you can see or filter type. If you can see, we have a basic filter, but I'm going to show you the last option and another filter type. So in this tree map, I just want to show you when you click on this or in some visual. In this case, if you click inside the tree map, note that appear another section because we just see it filter on all pages, filter on this page. But once you click on this visual, it appears another section that it's called filters on this visual. And that means that the filters that you have right here, it's going to apply just to the visual that you already click. So in this section you can customize some filters that it's going to apply just to the tree map. It's another way to configure some filters. And for example, if you go to the manufacturer section or manufacturer visual, actually the tool show you the option that you can maybe want to create a filter in this graph. And if in this visual you are using the manufacturer field, the tool show you the manufacturer field. Maybe you want to filter the manufacturer. And in the filter type, you click on that, guys, and see that, for example, we can use a top end filter. So in this case, we are going to filter the top number 5, for example. Top number 5, we can just see the bottom. For example, we just need to see the worst values, and we can specify the bottom manufacturers. But in this case, let's keep the top just to see that it's Van Arsdale, Natura, Pirium, Maliki, and Kurus. We just want to see the 5 manufacturers, and we need to specify the value that it's going to create the top. In this case, we are going to create the top number 5 by the revenue value. So we just need to drag the revenue to this section right here, and then click on apply filter. When you do that, guys, let's see that inside our tree map we just see the 5 squares that represents the 5 manufacturers with the top revenue. And in this case is Van Arsdale, Aliki, Kurus, Pirum that we already built in the manufacturer groups. So it's perfect. It's the way that the filter works. And let's continue with the topics of this lab section. So there is more options to filter, more ways that you can interact with the visuals. So now we are going to talk about how to navigate inside some visuals. So in this case, we are going to create a new clustered column chart. I just want to see the revenue inside the values, but we want to see the date of the sale. So we are going to use the date field of the sales table inside the axis of the column of the graph, sorry, of the visual. So in this section we are going to start how to navigate the hierarchy that we just see, because let's see that in this case, if you go to the day column inside the sales table, there is another arrow that we have, and if you expand that, they show you a date hierarchy, and inside the date hierarchy we have the year, the quarter, the month, and the date. But let's see the data inside that table. Inside the sales table we just have one column, the date column. So that means that Power BI is able to detect natural hierarchies like the date. So in the case of the date, it's a natural hierarchy that we have, and the natural hierarchy is that we have years. In the years we have some quarters, and in the quarters we have some months, and in the months we have days, and it works in that way for the majority of the world. So Power BI built for you that hierarchy by itself, so you can work with that. So when you create the visual, know that we have just 3 bars, once for the different year, 2017, 2018, and 2019. So the first topic that we are going to talk about hierarchies is how to navigate the hierarchies in the visuals. So when you have a hierarchy in your visual, it's going to appear these 4 icons right here, and that icon is the icons that I'm going to show you how that icon works. We are going to start with the second one. The second one is the click to turn on drill down option. So when you click on that icon, you just activate the drill down option mode with click. That means that when you're going to click on, for example, 2017, you're going to drill down the year. So in this case, you are going to go deeper inside the hierarchy in the 2017. So for example, I just have activate the option and click on 2017, and let's see what happened. And you can see that now we are looking the quarters of the 2017. In this case is that's the revenue of the quarter number 1 of 2017, quarter number 2 of 2017, and the cross filtering option, actually it's filtering the other visual. So in this case we are looking the column chart and the tree map with the values about 2017. So if, let's see, or you can see how your report it starts to be very, very dynamic in the way that you can explore the data, and the way that the whole group of the different visuals show you insights about your data. Or it's really easy to create or analyze your data using the visuals on the tool. The first option that I'm just skipped is the option that you are going to use to return or go to the up in the hierarchy. So if you click on that, you're going to see again the years. If I click on 2018, and just see the values of 2018. Go again to the years and click on 2019, and let's take a look that the other graph already changed when you interact with the visual in that way. When you turn off that option, when you click on the visual, what happened with the other visual is that in this case it's with the highlight mode. So you're not going to go in a deeper way in the hierarchy. You just select the year and it's going to interact with cross-filtering option with the other visuals. The option number 3, the 2 arrows show you down. This option is to go to the next level on the hierarchy. Click on that and let's see what happened. Go to the next level on the hierarchy means that you are looking the values in the hierarchy. In this case it's year, and the second level it's quarter. So in this case you are looking the quarter number 1, quarter number 2, quarter number 3, and quarter number 4 of the year. But in this case you are not looking at a specific year. That means that you are grouping the values of the revenue in this year. So in this case you are grouping the whole years 2017, 2018, and 2019, and you are looking the different quarters of the whole year. So that value means that in the quarter number 2 of all of those years it was 388 millions. Perfect, guys.